MVP, and I think we should bring in our special guest
I do
because
too. I'm clicking it right
we
now.
want to
Hey,
introduce you
Rachel.
guys. I want to introduce you
Hello.
to Rachel DeSorto Peck, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
I figured I could nail the Peck part right, but I wanted to get the maiden name right because your brother just accepted my friend request. So
Oh, good. Good,
I want
good.
to try to be
He could be in
respectful
here.
to your actual family name. So, hey,
Yeah.
welcome. How
Thank
are you?
Yes.
I'm doing good. So glad to be
I'm,
here tonight. I'm
I'm
like,
Now you've
excited
been
to
to the
have you.
farm several times already, but I'm definitely wanting to come up here. Yeah, well, twice. That's more
Well,
times than I've been up there. But
I
I'm
would,
super
I would,
stoked to meet a hemp farmer in Illinois because that's local and just gives the people who are in the state, which is a big part of our
yeah.
group, a chance to know someone in their own state.
And we're super
So,
excited to have everybody out. I mean, like I said, we started the hemp farm at the beginning of this year. We opened it
mhm.
up to events for it was the past 4 weekends. And I'd say once we got connected with the medical cannabis DIY group, oh my gosh, the
You
support and
gotta
love
love
is
them.
amazing. I'm
You gotta
like,
love them.
yeah, you couldn't. I was trying to beg people to come out for tours, and I'm like, what the heck?
What's wrong with
well,
everybody?
Why don't you?
I'll tell you,
Yeah.
go ahead, Rachel.
I
Finish
was
what
gonna
you're
say,
saying.
if I saw one picture of someone with the sunflower, I was gonna lose it. I'm like, why aren't people coming out here?
There you
Like,
go. There you go. People are going
So,
to apple farms and
yeah.
strawberry farms. Where's our
I mean,
people?
like sunflowers are amazing. I take it
Yeah,
back. I like so is
right.
apples, everything else. But I'm
Well,
like,
uh,
I
there's no
get it.
cannabis farms that you can go to.
I'll make one last introduction, and then I'm going to mute myself, and we're just going to and Holly's going to actually interview Rachel and really kind of get the information out there. But here's the deal. Almost it was 2 weeks ago, I guess,
Yeah.
that some of our people went out there. Some of our members went out there. Two of our members went out there, and that evening I started getting private messages, and they were so freaking enthusiastic
Right.
about this place, these people, their vibe, what
Hmm.
they're doing. They're our tribe. They're this. They were
Right.
glowing. And so I sent Rachel a friend request,
Hmm.
and I think we talked
Yeah.
sometime that day. And I went out there Saturday by myself just to kind of connect with her and see if it really was Oz as I had been told. Uh,
Well, and it was everything you hoped.
and it was all that in a bag of chips, as they
There you
used to
go.
say, as the kids used to say. So I love Rachel. I love her brother. I love their vibe. I wholly embrace what they're doing, and we are excited to partner with them. So, having said that, I'm going to mute myself, and I'm going to let Holly conduct the interview with Rachel. So I'll be back when it's over. Bye for now.
So I definitely wanted to interview just because I hadn't been out there, so I figured I would know the questions like to ask because I mean, if you had to sell it to someone who hadn't been there, and I think a lot of people haven't seen a farm like this, what would be something you'd say about it?
I would
I mean,
say,
McGee was all about your vibe. I think your vibe is selling, but
well, like first of all, like the first thing we get is like Mike was saying, people have a hard time finding us because we're actually in town, but it's a
right.
residential land estate that's been in the family for 60 years. So when you first pull up, it looks like a big house, but in the back, it's
You
like the
think you're
oldest
at somebody's residence. Yeah.
yeah, and it is like it's my brother's home. The
Right.
family's been in the property's been in our family for 60 years, and we've never farmed it on that side over my aunt's. She lives across
Hmm.
the yard. We have about 170 acres between the two houses and across the street.
Right.
So it's a very, very relaxed, like kind of vibe. It's very low key. It's
It
our
sounds
home is
more like
just
a family get together than like some
yeah,
weird amusement park that
it
you have to,
is.
yeah.
And like our dog, like I swear, our dog Leo, our farm dog, more people
Hmm.
are coming out to see him than the hemp farm now.
He
He
needs
has a
his
bigger
own
following.
Instagram page.
Yeah, but it is,
Yeah.
like we've just made it very welcoming. We have a very small team. We love, like I love, Mike loves, like we love talking to people
Oh
and bringing
yeah.
out families. It's not just limited to adults, and we want
Well,
it.
and it
Yeah,
sounds like education is
yeah,
something that you strive for. And I mean, when you educate, you're not just educating the people who may use it medically, you're educating their whole family, their
correct. Yeah,
caregivers, but their kids too, because that's the generation that's going to grow up and say this was never a big deal and we should all be free to use it how we see fit.
Yeah,
So I really love that you guys are like open to that out there. Just the pictures I saw, it looks so happy. You
it is.
know?
I'm
And
like, it is. I'm like, it's just, like with everything that's gone on with 2020, like
oh my God.
obviously, well, you need a little happiness and hope.
Yeah,
I'm like, it has been, it's crazy because we started
right.
the farm. This is our first year. We dreamt it up into 2019. We were one of the few groups that like came to fruition and did it.
Right. A lot of
We
people talked about it when the
Yeah, a
laws
lot of
changed.
people, yes. And it was funny because like when we were getting into it, like more people were talking to us like, oh, we're gonna get into the processing, we're gonna get into the testing, we're gonna grow a
Hmm.
farm, we got our license.
Right.
And a lot of those people pulled out. Like as soon as COVID hit, they were out. At that point, we
Yeah.
just started clearing the fields. We had our greenhouses on order. Mike and my brother Mike and I looked at each other and we're like, COVID, let's
Yeah.
do it. We're going full steam ahead. We're not stopping, and
We're glad you did because, well, seriously, because I mean, the law changed, and then that's when you came to the decision to do
yeah.
this. I mean, there's a
Um,
lot of planning involved.
Yeah, there definitely was a lot of planning. A lot of it was my brother and I always having a dream of working together. We're very family oriented.
That's awesome.
And we respect each other. He's my little brother. He's anybody that's met him, he's not so little. He's about a foot taller than I am.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take over the picture.
But he's the younger one. I know the
He's the
dynamic
younger.
because I have a little brother. So,
And we just always wanted to work together. We met up the end, what was it, after Christmas 2019 and
mhm.
before New Year's. We had lunch and we went through all these business ideas that we were like, hey, what kind of thing, what do we want to start up? And everything that
Yeah.
we came up with involved the farm, like the property itself. And we're
Right.
like, well, we love events venues. We've had a ton of family weddings there, birthday parties. We have a huge
Obviously, it stands up well to tour. I mean, it's
yeah,
160 plus acres, so it's not
yeah.
like. And I
And
love just how it looks on film. So,
and we're
on
surrounded by
camera.
forest preserve. It's very reserved, like it's very private.
Oh, right, right.
But it's you're still in town. Like I said, Joe's Place, Taco Bell's across the street.
Yeah.
And
Taco Bell.
I know.
Actually, I'm gonna catch some pictures of it too while we do
Oh
this.
yeah.
So,
No, definitely.
yeah.
So it, like when we met up, we saw with hemp, the
Hmm.
legalization of the 2018 Farm Bill. We're very fascinated and like cannabis enthusiasts.
Yeah.
Getting into marijuana grow is obviously out of the question right now, but this is the next best thing. The point of entry to get in is a lot better.
Oh,
Literally
yeah.
within 3 days of applying, we became hemp farmers. We got approved.
Versus 3 years of
Yeah.
greasing pockets of politicians and who knows what. But
And we
now
have
that's the house back there.
that's our second house.
Yeah,
That's
and the
the back house.
greenhouses.
Yeah, those are our two greenhouses. They're not fun to
Look at
build.
these fields of hemp here.
Yeah.
I'm loving
So
it.
we have about 4 acres that we grew on for CBD out in the fields. And then we had 1,100 CBG plants that we put around the greenhouses surrounding it.
That's awesome itself too, because CBG, a lot of our members have found that it's very helpful for things. I've used it a lot of times in tandem with like THC because it seems to make it even work better. I mean, maybe that's just all in my head, and I know it affects everybody differently, but I love this little one here.
Do what's so funny is with the photos too. So obviously this was our first grow. We
Mhm.
grew 11,000 plants.
Oh, it's amazing.
Go big or go home.
Mhm.
And they got super laggy.
Oh, yeah.
Don't panic if your plants all get laggy, because I was about to die. I thought they were all not going to make it.
I actually, yeah, there's a picture
See?
of one of your little guys.
That was the CBG right there. We were putting it into a 10-gallon pot. That was a transplant day.
Yeah.
So we got a semi-load of dirt delivered.
I saw that. I've got all these pots here.
Yeah.
Like,
so that's
oh my God.
CBGs.
You were
There's me
describing all
opening
these
it up.
plants, and I was thinking, God, it's hard to take care of my 5 when I got to drag them outside and check them over. And
Oh,
then I
no.
see all these pots, like with all these plants. Oh my God.
Yep, aren't they? We used
They're
to
cute,
hand
though.
water them too. We didn't get our
And this was
irrigation.
the first run. Ooh, God, you had to hand water.
We had hand water for the first almost 3 weeks, I think it was.
Oh,
I
they're
lived in the
grown with love.
and then there's the well coming in. So see how big they already
Yeah.
are? Like
Yeah.
Yeah. So after the well got in, we could put our spot spitters in, but we designed our own
And that
nursery.
was one of the things you mentioned to me that you had to do too, was get the
Yeah.
well drawn. But
Mhm. Yeah, that was a big
I
chunk.
was going to ask about the turtle, and I forgot to ask about the turtle
It's a
earlier.
snapper. Yeah, so that's a snapper turtle. Literally, I think it has to be like 100 years old, if not more.
He's
And
like ancient.
he had moss that, like, maybe it's a girl, I don't know, but or he or she, this
He or
turtle.
she,
I
they,
think it might be a girl because this was like during a lot of times when they're laying eggs,
they
like
look
they're
for things.
testing. But
Oh,
yeah, so that
I
one,
thought that
I
was funny.
scared the crap out of me one morning. I was walking out to the houses and I was like, oh my God.
There's
But
a freaking turtle right out here.
it's a turtle. Like
But
the
that's a
animals,
happy
yeah.
place.
Yeah. I would say the butterflies, the turtles.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, there's some not so fun animals every once in a while too, but those are
Well,
my favorites.
now is this the CBG here?
That is a CBG, correct.
It looks
We did
great.
some in the 10-gallon pots. Those were
Mhm.
all indoors in the greenhouses. And then we did 7-gallon poly bags outside around the greenhouse.
Those are
But
just badass.
oh my God, were they ever? I think, I don't even know if my pictures are on there, but on our Facebook page and stuff, I have a picture of my 6-year-old son hiding in there, like where he was like hopping out.
Oh, I did see that one too, because I had to cyber stalk you, so.
Yeah, no. Of course.
But
Feel free.
I mean, look at these are
Those
awesome
are the
here.
CBDs out.
Yeah. And I mean, that's just so many plants, and I just really appreciate the it's hard to start something like this and like take on, I mean, thousands of plants, and you've never done it before. It's not like
No,
you just grew up on a hemp farm all your life,
no.
and that. So I really appreciate like the ingenuity that you put forward in using your spot in like the best possible way. I mean, if that's
No, it definitely was. You know, like for us, like I said, we don't come from a horticultural or
right,
agricultural background. Obviously, we come from an area that is,
sure,
you know, as far as Marengo.
Mhm.
But it is one of those that we were, I don't know, like we've figured it out as we went. I just laugh, you know, some days, like I said, it's been blood, sweat, tears, joy, laughter, you name it, but it's all like,
Exactly.
you know, there's some days, like I said, we thought for sure, like when they got all leggy, I'm like, they're never gonna live, and there they are now.
And
You know, and
look at
those are
how
those
great
leggy
these look.
plants.
Look at the heads on these, and I mean, my gosh, it's
All
just.
I think of is a Christmas tree farm whenever I'm running around.
But you know, people around here have actually asked me, like, how would you start a hemp farm? I know that, and
Oh yeah,
I mean, nobody has the answers because it's not something that's done. And my father being in farming, you know, he can walk onto a place and say, here's how you need to set up your soybean and corn rotation. But
okay.
when you're doing something like this, that's a new industry, that's an old industry that we have new technology for. I mean, I think it's really breathtaking the way that you kind of included like a place for the public to come and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Was that a goal of yours
Yes,
starting
always.
out?
So
That's
like
awesome.
so when we got into, you know, like when we dreamt up the farm, a lot of it was going to be a more event and venues and education driven.
Sure.
I always laugh. I have a master's degree.
And
That I'm
it's not in
certified.
hemp farming.
It kills my parents. I'm just
I
using
know.
this.
I can imagine.
My mom and dad are so supportive of everything. But I'm actually certified. I always laugh. I'm certified K through 12.
Oh, geez.
Great. Yeah, but
Well,
I
there
are
you're
K through 9.
incorporating education.
K through 9, and this is my way to educate. I'm like,
Right.
it is. I use that degree probably more than my business and marketing background
But
always, because it's like,
honestly,
yeah,
that's a good use for it though, because seriously, like,
I love connecting with people. I love like hearing everybody's stories. I love just, you know, like kind of teaching people what I know. I don't know everything. I'm not a master grower. Like,
yeah, but you
so,
can share knowledge that you've gained.
correct. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
everything
love
I
that.
learn each week or weekend from people I connect with is just, you know, it's astonishing. So very,
Well,
very.
and I've found too, like I've acquired a lot of knowledge, but I've actually also learned a lot of things, just fine-tuned knowledge. Even somebody will come up with some brilliant idea, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can do that. You know, I can add this into this, or I just love these plants. So I'm staring at the pictures, like,
Oh yeah, there's the harvest. So
yeah. Tell me about these racks because I
okay,
really like the
you
ingenuity
got to
of
hear
it.
something fun about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so with those racks, there's a place up here in Crystal Lake, Illinois that is
Hmm.
going out of business. It's called Flowerwood. It's a nursery.
Hmm.
So when we first started the farm, the beginning of the year, we heard her about them going out of state or like out of business because I was
Hmm.
meeting with one of our local nursery here in Marengo, Hub's Greenhouse, to learn how
Yeah,
to build greenhouses and like look at their stuff because they're family friends. Marengo's very
right.
small, so luckily we have some good friends. And they're like, hey, have you thought about reaching out to Flowerwood? They have hoop houses out there. They might be getting trying to get rid of them. You should go call the guy. So I reached out there randomly. I was like, hey, we're starting
Hey.
a hemp farm. And I hear you're going out of business. Would you mind if we came over to take a tour to look at things you're getting rid of? And
You
so
are a
what
woman after my own heart,
I
honestly. Well,
like, so
because
we
that's
went
what I
over,
would do.
yeah,
Oh, I know that store has some great racks and they're
yeah.
going out of business. I'm going to go see if
Well,
they'll take.
and we
Yeah.
went over there originally to look at hoop houses, but I was like, hey, we just want to see everything. Like my brother and I want to just see because we'll think of something. We'll have different ideas.
Well, and you can
Um,
recycle half that stuff for
yeah.
a new purpose. I love that.
100%. So when we went over and met with him, Michael and I were like driving or walking around. We're like, we can use that. Like I literally could probably go through my photo streams right now on my phone and I have pictures. Like, so these were racks. And I was like, oh my
Yeah.
God, it could be perfect for drying the
I mean,
perforated.
look at that. Look at how perfect that is. I'm going to
So
zoom
what
in
I
on
guess
this one.
I learned that those were called like plug trays or something,
Oh,
I think.
sure.
Yeah, so they're plug trays maybe, but I'll tell you what, they make one hell of a drying rack.
Well, it really does. I mean, I'm even
Yeah.
thinking of how to dry my little tiny harvests, and I see those hanging mesh racks, and this
Yeah.
is like the industrial version of
And
it.
so
Yeah.
what's nice too is those the racks they pop out too. So
Hmm.
like they're heavy, but like with our two guys that two team members we have, they can sit there and pop them out, and we feed them into our we do 5-gallon burp buckets because of industrial like we have so many
Yeah.
pounds. And then we have gamma lids on the buckets to
This
make it we
thing,
get
this, how much is in this giant bag here?
okay, so right there, like now we just harvested the last of the CBG. I think we still have a few more benches right now that are drying, but
Hmm.
there's like 450 pounds
Oh
maybe.
my God.
450 pounds.
It's hard to fathom that much.
And what was
So,
funny too is I learned from DIY, thank you, as a grower, we call it biomass.
yes.
And as a user, you call it shake and trim.
Yeah. For you, it's biomass. For us, it's
Oh, thank you very much for the education. I really
well,
appreciate it.
hey, you learn as you
Yeah, that's
go,
what
right?
you guys are very helpful. I learn something new every day. Like it's awesome.
I love this. This is how I picture on my plants too before I start tearing into them when I train them.
That was our CBG too. And then I
Well,
was
and this
laughing.
was like a montage, and I just love this one because your finger's actually green here.
So that's from dyeing tie dyes too. But I was like,
Yeah,
awesome. I got a
but
green thumb.
hey, green thumbs, green thumbs. So,
And what's
I,
funny is I do not have a green thumb in real life. I kill every house plant, but apparently I have a gift for cannabis grow.
and here's these big sticks that I got
Oh
the
my
idea
gosh.
from.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
main colas. And some of those aren't even
yeah.
the main colas.
No,
But
this is bigger than a lot of people are going to see on their first home grows here in Illinois, at
and
least.
today, like I said, I was trimming up our CBD, like any of the main ones. A lot of it's getting ground down for the shake and trim. But the colas today on some of the CBD were about
Look at
over a
that.
foot long and
That's
huge. I
insane.
was
It just
laughing.
blows my mind.
And then you can see my little guy in the middle. This is one of
Yeah,
my friends. He trims. He makes a
he's
tight little
doing
cut.
it. He's got the
Fine motor
scissors and
skill.
everything. Check
His
that. Well, yeah, and they got the hand strength and stuff at that age. They don't
his
have.
classmates and teachers are very proud.
That's awesome.
And then like you can kind of if you zoom out, you can see my little niece too and the
Oh
little
yeah, down here in
yeah. So that's
here.
my brother's wife, Andrea, and this is his little girl,
Oh,
Roxy.
she's
And
little.
my brother just had baby number 4, 4 under 4,
Well, I saw somebody in there
Riley.
was carrying too, and that makes it feel so family.
It
It's
is,
you've
yeah.
got young, you've got older, you've got
Oh
people
yeah.
coming there to learn. And like we're real big on with the potlucks and stuff. We are so big on trying to get people together because we're so isolated in our disabilities, in our expectations of us. It's really, I mean, it's been a game changer just to get people in the same place. So
Well,
even with this virus, I mean, you have an outdoor situation, so that's kind of wonderful too.
yeah. And last
So
Saturday, like, and Mike was here, like Mike was there and a lot of the other DIY members. It was so much fun, like for me too.
it's a good group, isn't it?
I felt so, yeah, no, and I looked out our, like, our harvest barn doors, it's like, it's an old pool building, it's a metal
Yeah.
shed thing. But I looked out there and to see a group of 20 some people standing there all enjoying one
Isn't
another,
that awesome?
like it was amazing.
It is.
It is. It's, like, and what's cool too is a lot of the people I've talked to and like, just through hearing their journeys and life so far.
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of people that come out that almost start crying because like, for them it's a healing process.
It's so, yeah.
And it means so much to me because we're very passionate about what we do.
And why wouldn't you be? I mean, that's fucking wonderful because seriously, I think we're, people forget that like a lot of people with disabilities stay at home and they're isolated and they kind of get locked out of society in a weird way. And it's sad, but it's a true fact of life. And we can fix that by not, by just bucking the society and getting together like we do. And it was hard when the virus hit. We wanted to be quarantined for our own health and the health of others. But this, I mean, of 2020 sucking so bad, this has been a wonderful thing. Finding an Illinois hemp farm because I'm looking forward to coming up there. So,
I was really looking forward to you coming up too because it's yeah. I mean, it's
we're excited.
No place like it. There really isn't.
Now you were offering tours for people to just show up at certain times, but you've recently changed that just because
harvest.
Yeah, it's harvest time.
I'm like, so we are a team of, we had 5. One of our guys wasn't hurt at the farm, but he pulled a muscle. And I'm like,
oh,
I found that out last night. I'm still crying over it.
Oh shit.
Like, so now we're 4 people. Way! And then Mikey when he shows up when he's not at the office.
There you go.
Not this Mikey, the other one.
yeah. I know. That's why I call him McGee. There's so many Mikes.
Yeah. But yeah, we were offering the tours. Obviously we had to close, kind of like we couldn't do the 9 to 5 situation.
Right.
Friday, Saturday clinics was our bit, when we can get the most done as a team.
Exactly.
But what we did want to do is still offer like, the ability to, because we were selling plants, by selling plants, I can't sit there and leave them in the dirt live, hand them over to people.
You can't, right.
Unless if they're a hemp cultivator, then I can.
Right.
But otherwise what we can do is we can sit there and let people, what we're doing like over the weekend is allow them to harvest their own plant. Like they can come use our equipment, try, figure it out.
I think that's awesome. Yeah.
And we are going to, I haven't announced it yet, so I'll kind of do it now too, is we were going to sell the plants for $35 and you can get 4 for $100.
And that's any plant they find in the area.
Correct.
Of
yeah,
the CBD.
So right, the CBG is all harvested, but CBD. Yeah. So if you have
But I've looked at your website too, and we have it. We actually have a waffle with it, but I'll post it down here too. Okay. And I mean, you can find it everywhere. But we're going to be talking about it a lot in the group. But you have some great deals too.
Yeah.
So I'm actually was just thinking I need to get some more hemp. I was just counting all mine today to figure out what I was going to freeze and do a tincture wash with, and what I was going to make oil out of, and all that. And so I'm sitting there like, well, I know where I'm going to order some. So I will be putting in an order soon too, but your prices are awesome too.
Oh,
I wanted to say thank you for.
We we pride ourselves in keeping them very affordable or different options available for people. And part of that is through our hillbilly ingenuity, I call it. Like
I love hillbilly ingenuity. I am all about hillbilly ingenuity.
We do everything ourselves. We keep the labor costs low by having a small and lean and mean team, or a small mighty.
That's how I ran my company when I was in construction, a close-knit family. And I'm telling you, there's something to be passed on in that, like you give back to the community. Like, look, I didn't buy a Hummer and drive it around like a stupid car, and I didn't buy a bunch of tools I didn't need. I'm passing the savings along to you.
And it's,
I like when people do that.
I had a lot of hemp farmers come by lately, even even people that are growing or grew last year and didn't grow this year, because guess what, they're broke. Like they spent everything, and a lot of people just lost their butt, and they're like, well, we have
or the pause ate up their income because they weren't able to launch as fast. Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
And we have them reaching out to us saying like, oh, we have 8 Centra Pros, like, like all the different like kind of tempers and this and that. And I'm like, oh, and they're like, well, I'm like, well, you want to give it to us?
Yeah,
You
they're
want us
going
to
to
help
sell
you
it to you.
out? Yeah.
I'm gonna bring McGee back in. He got his drink made,
Okay.
so
Okay.
um, no,
Yeah.
you're here too. So you guys can't see what I'm doing. But I didn't see any questions in the group, but I did want to point out if you guys have any questions for her, ask them now because I'll get them out here to her. And I'm super
And
stoked about this.
and Rachel is a group member now.
She is a group member,
So
so
if
she'll be able
you
to
have
field.
questions, just drop them in the comments and she can answer them. Hi, me, Holly, whatever. But if Rachel specifically can answer questions because she's a group member. So yeah.
He said so many good things about you. And then I know I need to get up there eventually too. And I love fall. So this is going to be like real fun for me.
Well, before we let Rachel go, I want to just gloat a minute because I want to say how much I enjoyed watching you interview Rachel because Rachel and I connected and she's CanFM,
Oh, yeah.
That's why I went and I talked to her and I looked her in the eyes and we walked the fields and that's why we partnered because she's our tribe.
Mm-hmm.
She's got our DNA.
Well, and that's all you had to say to me is that she's our tribe. And I was like, okay, well, then that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
You're able to talk to us tonight because
I appreciate
I'm telling you, we're glad to have you on here. So,
well, and I think a lot of times too, like I said, people that show up and then they see some of the products, they're like, well, I'm not a smoker. I'm like, you don't have to be a smoker. And then I hand them your business card.
Right. Send them our way.
Hey, Rachel.
Rachel,
did you get the box of cards yet?
Did you send me more?
They'll be there on the 22nd.
Awesome. Because I'm like, I definitely get them out.
Yeah.
People are very excited.
Yeah. When I was there Saturday, there was like 2 or 3 left.
Yeah.
So I dropped another stack because I know Holly already shipped you another box.
Yeah.
So
they're on the way. I just checked the tracking number this afternoon and they're supposed to be there tomorrow.
And
people
are super excited. So I'm definitely happy to provide and connect.
Well, and we're happy to teach people how to use stuff that they buy in any kind of, anything can be done with plant matter alone. So
I spread the word. I'm like,
right. We're happy to tell them. So, all right. Well, I'm going to kick you off here because we've taken up enough of your time tonight. But
thank you.
I love talking to you, and I can't wait to meet you.
I can talk to you guys forever. So thank you.
Hey, we love you, Rachel.
Yeah,
thank
love you guys too.
Good fam.
Bye for now.
Bye.